Hi, this is Sherry Mugo, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to set up your Formilae chatbot. And there is a little bit of setup. It's quick and easy, but there is some setup, and I'm going to take you through that setup. And first, I'll have you take a look at one already in use. If you navigate to Formilae.com, you will see our chatbot in use. If you click on the Message Us button, it's actually one of our chatbots. So currently, we only have one type of chatbot available, which is the OpenAI integrated artificial intelligence chatbot. Okay, so here is a quick demo of that. And here, as you can see, it looks like Jamie is typing, although he really is not. So you get the typing effect and you get an answer to your question. Let's see what he says. Hi there. If you remember your login email address, you can place the email address in the email input field, and a list of company codes will be retrieved once you click into the company code input field. Alternatively, you can visit this URL and click on Forgot Company Code link. Hope that helps. All right, so that's just a little demo of the chatbot, and I'm going to show you how to set that up. Okay, so we're on Mugo International website. And this website is about spousal visas, people seeking to immigrate to the United States. And we're going to set up a chatbot to be placed on this website. And let's get started. So we're logged into Formilae Administration. After you sign up, you'll be able to log into your administration dashboard, and then you're going to navigate to Chat Widget Manager under the OpenAI Tools Chat Assistance window. So I already have a chatbot set up, but I'm going to first, walk you through setting it up, and then we'll come back to this one that's already done. Okay, so to add, if you come here and you don't have any chat widget set up, you'll see a row that says no records display, and then all you have to do is click on add chat widget. So let's do that. All right, and then you're going to, right now, like I said before, we only have one available, but in the future we'll have live chat available and then robot chat available. So here we're doing OpenAI chatbot partner resembling a person. And as soon as you select that, you'll immediately get a preview of what your chatbot will look like, and we'll get to that in a minute. So it describes what you just selected. Users are not made aware that they are chatting with a bot, but they're chatting with OpenAI, ChatGPT, artificial intelligence mirroring human interaction. Okay, so we're going to give it a name. We'll call this Mugo International Homepage Chatbot. All right, and then we'll leave this here for now. I'll explain what these are for a bit later. So now here's where you can choose the color of your chatbot. So that's what I was referring to before, where you get to preview it. So the Mugo International website color theme is sort of like a green, blue, white color. So I think green would be appropriate. So gradient green. Okay, and then we're going to select active. Now, if you deactivate it, the chat bot will just disappear. When you load the page, it just won't be there. So you may want to close it down for whatever reason, and you can quickly come in and do that once you install it live. So embed URL. Now, for security reasons, we need to know where this chatbot is going to go. So you just tell us the name of your website. So in this demo, we're demoing Mugo International. So the website is mugointernational.com. And so you would put http // mugointernational.com. Now, if you're going to put that bot down in a deeper directory, So like say you have a page called Mugo International slash pages slash my page, something like that. You don't have to put all that. You only need to uh, put the beginning URL, which is mugointernational.com. So, and then that way you can place it on whatever page that you like, just as long as the beginning of the URL is mugointernational.com. Okay, so, but in this case, we don't have to put that because in our account settings, we have our website set up there. So, there could be a case where you have a different page, like maybe you have a blog, blogger, and it's different from your website. So if it's different from the website that you have in your account settings on this page, and then you would use this. But if you already have your website, in our case we have Mugo International on our account page, you can leave this blank, and it does explain that when you're on any Formilae web form or form in the administration, you might see these and you can hover over these for directions or tips on what the field is for. All right, session timeout. What that means is, and we'll demo this later as well. A session timeout means if the person may ask a question, they're chatting with the bot, and then they may get up and leave their computer. After 5 minutes, it's going to time out and it's going to end the session, because we need to know when the session ends, because after the session ends, you'll be emailed a transcript of the conversation, so you can keep track of what type of questions are coming in to your website. So there may even be, depending on how many questions you fill up in your FAQ, there may be questions that the bot was not able to answer, and we'll demo that as well, what it's like if the bot doesn't know the answer to the question. So uh, you'll receive a chat transcript, and then if you see, oh man, he wasn't able to answer that question, then you can just go into the FAQ and add new questions, and we'll get to that later. Okay, so this won't take so long. Try to speed through this. All right, so since we've selected the OpenAI chatbot partner resembling a person, this means that you need to open an OpenAI account, which is free. It's free to open up an OpenAI. We integrate with their company, and you would just go to their website, open up an account, grab a couple of API keys, and then you'll need to place that API key here. You are not charged to open the OpenAI account, but you are charged for usage. So if you need any type of explanation on usage, visit our FAQ page, or we have another video in the FAQ that explains how to open up your account with OpenAI and set up your API keys. So be sure and watch that video if you're not familiar with OpenAI and grabbing some API keys. All right, so once you have your API key, you're going to place that here. So I'll just put a fake one here, and then we'll move on. This is the amount of characters that the bot is going to use to answer the question. And it's very important. It's up to you how high or low you want to set it, but this is the one thing that you are charged for with OpenAI. Once you grab an OpenAI API key, each time the bot receives input from the user and then answers that question, they charge you for the amount of characters that were used. So you can control that. You can say, I don't want to go above 1,000 characters. I don't want them to go below 50 characters. So you'll be able to monitor the usage as well. Log into your OpenAI account and monitor the usage and determine if I want to go higher or lower, because it's not costing that much, so I'll go a little higher. So watch the other video on opening an OpenAI account and usage monitoring. Okay, so the next fields, if you're interested in these fields, if you're familiar with the different settings for OpenAI artificial intelligence models, you can play around with these settings, but if you're not, don't worry, just leave them. We've set them to the recommended values. But these, and if you're interested in what these mean, you can visit the OpenAI website, or you can look at our little info messages for more details. But again, don't let it intimidate you. If you're not familiar with these, they're sort of like tuning settings, like kind of like tuning a guitar. So there are ways to tune your AI robot. So I won't go into detail about that. Just don't be intimidated by it and leave it to their default settings. Next is maximum tokens for memory input. And what this means is when the robot is conversating with the user of your website, the robot is sort of like relies on the memory of the conversation. So if the user enters, "Hi James, I'm Sherry, can you help me?" um, the robot won't the conversation won't flow well unless the robot remembers the entire conversation. So, or not the entire conversation, but you need as many characters from previous answers in order for the conversation to flow correctly for the memory of the robot. And you do want to set this value to as high as possible. um, Otherwise, I don't know if you've ever used Chat GPT. Sometimes he doesn't remember what you said before, and it's probably because the character count got a little high, and so he can't remember past conversations from you. So we have to limit that. Otherwise, it gets a little expensive. So you want to set it to as high as possible, but you don't want to go too high. And actually, with the model that we're using, which is Text DaVinci O3, you can only go up to 4096 characters and we or tokens, and we've set it to the max. And if you find that you're having issues with if you set it too low and you find you're having too many issues with the robot not conversing well with your users, this value is probably too low. But we've tested it out, and we've through our extensive testing, we find that setting it to the highest value, we get good performance from the robot. Next is bot instructions, and this is where the fun begins. You can literally tell your robot what its role is. So say you're installing the robot on a hair, skin, and nails website, or you're installing the robot on a massage therapy website. You can change this text to say, "You are a massage therapist at Magic Touch, and your name is." Leave this. We recommend that you leave this token, and I'll tell you why. Your name is token here. Your goal is to be helpful, polite, and professional. The user may ask questions about blah, blah, blah. So here, I'll just read what we have from Google International, which is an immigration agency. Your goal is to be helpful, polite, and professional. The user may choose to greet you, so be polite and respond with an appropriately matched greeting, but ultimately you are to assist with them with serious customer support questions. If the user has asked the question, you have queried our FAQ database and found the following most helpful support questions and answers. Use the following data if the user has included a question with their greeting. Now it says use the following data because you will be entering FAQ questions as the data to train your bot. So we recommend that you leave, if you want to change the beginning of this, we do want you to maybe leave this here, because if you're not familiar with Chat GPT, you have to give it specific instructions on what to do, or it tends to do what it wants to do. It just makes things up. so so this is very important. So start off, if you're a beginner and you're not very familiar with AI, just change the beginning portion of it, and we actually fill this in for you. Like if you put your business name in the account section, we will make sure that when you come here, it will say you are a support representative for your business name will be here. And then we've added these tokens, so you may want to add we've added the first name, and then we'll demo that in a minute so you'll understand what that means. Okay, and so yeah, you could totally like change this and say if you work for a different type of business, you can describe your business, because any type of information is good for the robot, and you don't want this to be too long either, because it counts as part of the maximum token. So you want this to be as short and precise as possible. Okay, and so we'll move on. We won't spend too much time on this. If you need any further assistance with this or tips on this, you can get with your project manager or contact support, and we'll help you out. So for failure message, if for any reason the bot fails, maybe there's slowness or something, or maybe the OpenAI is down that day or something like that. Uh, we want the user to we don't want the user to experience some kind of hanging or anything. We just say apologies, but the chat system is undergoing maintenance or experiencing a temporary issue. Please try again later, and we'll be happy to assist you then. Thank you for understanding. You can change this if you'd like, and so, but this is the default. We filled this in with the default. All right, so next, we'll get to this later. You have to tell the bot which FAQ you would like it to use. We'll come back to that. And then here is a list of artificial employees. So we have a repository of avatars that you can choose. And you can either choose one avatar, and it's up to you. It's like having an employee. So if you want like a random employee of yours to pop up when the person clicks this button, then it'll choose a random employee from the list, and it'll show their name and their first name and their last name and their title. If you don't fill in the title, we will fill it in for you, and it'll just say chat agent. Okay, so you have to select at least one. You can select multiple. You can select 10, 20. I think we have like, at the moment, we have like 100 in our repository. So you can scroll here and choose which employee you would like. So let's choose this one, and you can give it a name. And then we'll choose this one. So I've chosen to just for the sake of demo, and then I'm going to choose this for the sake of the demo, and I'll show you how to set this up a bit later, and then we'll click save. And then your bot is set up. Okay, but before you come to this page, you're going to enter FAQ questions. You're going to need to enter FAQ questions to train your bot. So let's go there. Let's go to the FAQ manager. And then as you can see, I already have that FAQ that I selected before, home page general questions. And let's go there. Let's go to the questions and answers. So let's add a new FAQ. So it's very simple to add an FAQ. You're going to make it active and click save. All right, and as soon as you add your FAQ, now you have to enter the questions and answers. And then you're going to enter one question at a time, or you can use our large text parser. I'll explain that in a minute. So let's go through adding our first questions. So you want to enter questions. You want to enter data to train your robot, and you're going to enter the questions in a question answer format or FAQ format. So what credit cards do you accept? Okay, and then you'll click add. When a person uses your chatbot and they ask a question, we have to query your FAQ questions, and we have to find the most relevant question. That way the bot will, according to the most relevant data, answer the question of the user. So with the help of OpenAI, we use complicated math for each question that you enter, and that math sort of like maps out uh, the 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 subject matter of the data entered. So whenever an FAQ is added, we integrate with OpenAI, we query their system, and we grab that complicated math and we store it in our database. And that's crucial to train the bot on getting the most relevant data. So if a person asks what credit cards do you accept, we look at that math and we perform these calculations to see which answer in the FAQ is the most relevant. We find that group of questions, we tell the bot that group of questions, and the bot is able to analyze those questions and answer the person's question. Okay, so now if you are not a free user, you don't have to pay for that. We handle that for you. If you are a free user, you're charged a very small fee. If you check out the pricing page on the OpenAI website, it's super cheap, and they have several models uh, for retrieving this math data. And we made sure we chose the cheapest one and the most efficient one. So it's very small fee, like it's probably like 0.2 cents per question, so, or actually per token. So, and tokens are sort of like characters. So again, I won't bore you with all those details. Just be sure you're aware of that. Okay, so, and check out our other video regarding embeddings and opening up your OpenAI account. Okay, so in this, for the sake of time, I'm going to go to an FAQ that's already completed, and I'm going to delete this one. Okay, so this is the official FAQ that I will use for the Mugo example. And as you can see, I've already added it. Homepage, and I've called it Homepage General Questions, FAQ that hosts general customer service questions about the business. And then once you add it, you'll need to navigate to questions and answers to add your questions and answers. And as you can see, I already have some common questions here in the FAQ. So we'll go read through a couple. What form needs to be submitted for a CR1 spousal visa? Form DS-260, immigrant, visa, and alien registration application. Do I need to submit photographs for a CR1 spousal visa? Yes, you need two 2x2 photographs. Okay, so you could literally just train the bot within this format, in the FAQ format, enter as many questions as needed, and we recommend as many as possible. So you never know what your users are going to ask. So try to come up with all of the questions that you can think of to train your bot to be able to answer them. So you can go through here and enter questions individually or have your assistant do it. Don't forget that with Formilae software, you can create several accounts, one for you, one for your assistants. You might have a virtual assistant. You might want to have them log on and do that. So let's look at the large text parser. So this is a neat way to add FAQ questions dynamically. Say you already have brochures, you have a website that have several paragraphs of text that answer a lot of the questions that you feel might need to be here. So uh, here I have a bunch of questions for the K1 spousal visa. We actually don't have any data in here regarding the K1. We only have CR1 data. But so now I'm going to enter K1, and I'm going to pretend that I had this bunch of text on our website. Maybe you already have an FAQ. You can bring those over. And I'm going to copy these paragraphs of text, and I'm going to enter them into large text parser. Okay. Looks like it didn't want to look at my paragraphs. You have to be sure that it's in paragraph form, and you have to make sure the paragraphs are separated. So I'm going to pause the video and clean this up. All right, so I've cleaned up that, and it's because what it's going to do, if it doesn't detect paragraphs of text, it's not gonna like it, and it's gonna come back with an error message. Each paragraph needs to be no more than 1,000 characters. You need a carriage return. These are the directions, and then we're good to go. Once you have your data set up correctly, you're good to go. And let's process this. What this is going to do is generate FAQ questions for you. Okay, so let's do that. Process. Yes, I'm sure. And depending on how much data you put in there, uh, It could take a few seconds. All right. So it looks like it was a success. If it successfully generated questions, it's going to say success, and it's going to tell you 15. It's going to tell you how many 15 question answer pairs were successfully generated from the large text parser. We strongly recommend that you review the results highlighted below. So we've highlighted them. Let's find them. Okay, so these are the new questions that have been added. They're highlighted. And also keep in mind, we don't grab the math data needed from OpenAI, the embeddings, until you approve them. So you may not like what was generated from the text, so we won't charge you until, or they won't charge you until you approve it. Okay, so let's look at what we got back. What is the K1 spousal visa process? K1 spousal visa process is a crucial way. Okay, that one can go. I'm going to approve it. So then, right when I approved it, it went to go grab the math data from the OpenAI server. And so now this question, whatever is approved, is ready to be used in your bot. Okay, what is the first step of the K1 spousal visa? Okay, these look good to me. I'm going to approve all of them. And I'm going to, what happens during the interview? During the interview. Okay, I think they look pretty good. I haven't had any bad experiences with not approving from the large text parser. So I'm going to pause it and approve everything, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I am all set approving all of those entries. And now, when we go to the chat widget manager and we visit our bot, the bot is this bot that I created is already tied to that FAQ. Just remember that you should probably set up your FAQ first before you set up your bot. I didn't do that in the correct order. So, because when you're creating your bot, you're going to need to choose your FAQ. Okay? So I'm going to choose home page general questions and then click save. And that is it. Your bot is ready to be used. Now let's preview it. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one and I'll be right back. Okay, and then I deleted that one for the demo, and now I'm going to click the live preview to preview it. You might want to take a look at it before you even, make it live on your website. All right, so what it did was it randomly grabbed one of the fake employees that we selected, or I don't like calling it fake. I call it artificial employee. So it chose Jessica Rudia, support specialist. It's going to put her title and her avatar here. Now it automatically opens up with this message. This isn't retrieved with, you aren't charged for this, but anything past this, except for maybe system messages, you might get a system message that the session is timed out, the chat has ended. You won't be charged for that. But again, you can monitor the usage on the OpenAI website once you open up your account and link your API key to your bot. So let's ask Jessica a question. I'm going to open up the FAQ manager in a separate tab so that I can see the FAQs that I put in there. All right, so let's ask this first question. How much do you charge? Hey, Jessica, how much do you all charge for a CR1 spousal visa consultation? All right, so it's emulating a real conversation, human experience. We have sort of a delay in there so she can have some time to read the question. And we also have her typing. So we have a typing simulation. Okay, and then the question has been answered. We charge a one-time fee of $435 for our CR1 spousal visa service. This does not include government fees for submitting your documents. How much do the government fees, or how much are the? Now for this one, I'm just trying to, be trying to be like a one of my real users because they're gonna want to know. Usually they want to know how much. And one thing I just thought about, I have not added anything in the FAQ regarding government fees. I might have, but not specifically. So I need to remember to do that, or they will use their best judgment when answer the question. So let's see what they said. Government fees vary depending on the country. Please provide your email address and the country for which you need the visa so we can forward your message to a consultant for more information. Now you see what the bot will do if it does not know what to answer. So if your FAQ doesn't have a question that answers the user's question, they're going to respond with something like this. And then when you receive your chat transcript, when the session is over, you're going to receive the transcript via email, and you'll also be able to view the transcript in administration, be able to know, oh, next time I need to add the FAQ for next time. So isn't that neat? So once the session is over, the robot knows how to end the session. So let me demo that. I'm going to say, okay, thanks, Jessica, um, for your help. And I just want to demo with you to so you can see what happens after the session ends. The robot even knows how to converse to, end the conversation. Okay, so we'll wait for her answer. All right, looks like she's ended the conversation and the session is over. And it ends with Jessica has ended the chat session. If you wish to start a new chat session, close the chat window and restart it. So this is a system message letting the user know that the session has ended. And after it officially ends, they won't be able to enter. So I just click this, and it says the chat session has ended. So they'll have to close it and reopen it so the simulation can begin again. So let's close it, and they're going to reopen it. It randomly chose one of your employees and opened a new chat session. All right, so next I'm going to demo what it's like if maybe the user opened the chat session and maybe, oh, they changed their mind. Maybe they had to run to the kitchen or something and make some coffee. And they didn't really end the session. So what I'm going to do is let you see what happens if there's like any hanging or anything. The chat ends and the user doesn't say anything. Okay, I'm going to pause it so the video won't be too long, and then we'll be back. All right, so about 3 minutes have passed, and John has said, is there anything I can help you with? Just a quick reminder that our chat session will be ending soon. If it detects no activity, feel free to ask any questions or share any information you like assistance with. So, yeah, it's designed to, after about 3 minutes, if it doesn't hear anything from the user, it's going to display this message. And then whatever amount of time that you set up in your chat window after that, so you can't go below 5 minutes. So let me navigate there. So we have it set up for a 5 minute session timeout. And then, so after 5 minutes, the chat session is going to end. So I'm going to pause it and let the time go by and allow you to see what happens after that. All right, so 5 minutes have passed and the chat session has ended. If you wish to start a new chat session, close the chat window and restart it. So the user will be forced, when they click on the message, they can't type and they can't enter a message, and they'll get a message saying the chat session has ended. Okay, so after you have run the live preview is only available on this page. It's not available in that preview button on the edit page. But after you're happy with it, you can now retrieve your code. So let's do that. And this is the code snippet you need to copy inside of your website. If you need help with this, or you don't have a web developer to do it, reach out to us and we can install it into your web page. Have like any or if you have a blog or anything that allows iframes. For all of our widgets, we use iframes. So you want to be sure that your web hosting provider supports this or allows third-party iframe embedding. So you're going to grab your code, and then you're going to, let's navigate. We're going to copy it into the Mugo International website. So I'm going to go to the code, just as long as it's in the body. So usually HTML has a body tag, and you want to make sure your code is anywhere in the body tag. It does not matter where, but you want to make sure it doesn't go like inside of another tag. All right, and so we're going to save this, and I'm going to publish this, and we'll be right back. All right, so it looks like my publish was successful. So I'm going to navigate to the home page, which is where I placed it in the index file, and I'm going to refresh. All right, and the website is now refreshed, and as you can see, our chatbot is now live. Okay, so here's our chat button. Now, this is a great time to go over margins, which I said I would get to later. So this button is kind of interfering with something that I already have in the website. So most websites have this little button here that will take you to the top, and it's kind of overlapping. It doesn't look good. So you can navigate to administration and click on edit for your chat widget, and you can adjust the margins. Where is it? So we have chat button bottom margin, chat button right margin. So you can play around with it until you get the the right setting, so it won't be overlapping with something. So I'm going to set the bottom margin to 50, and then I'm going to do the right margin to 3, and then click save. Okay, and then let's go back and refresh the page. And now it looks good to me. So let's try it out once more. All right, so we got Sierra Young this time, chat agent, and we've already been through a demo of how it works. If you're interested in getting a chatbot set up for your website, visit Formilae.com.